Hello everybody, on behalf of Tom Sawyer Software, I'd like to welcome you to today's webinar, which is a deep dive demo of our flagship software, Tom Sawyer Perspectives. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Shweta Singh, and I'm the GoToWebinar organizer for today's event. Joining me is our Vice President of Telecom Solutions, Pavel Hardak. Pavel brings more than 15 years of technical and management experience to Tom Sawyer Software. He works with existing and potential customers and also provides guidance to R&D, helping to improve the product. Before moving to USA, Pavel played a key role in strategically establishing Tom Sawyer Software Israel Limited to build and enhance relationships with local companies. And with that, over to you, Pavel.
Thank you, Shweta. Welcome, everybody. My name is Pavel Hardak. Today we are going to do a deep dive about use cases for telecom and networking solutions using Tom Sawyer Software technology. I spent just a couple of minutes to remind you what some key things about the company and the product, and then we quickly jump into live demos. Please do submit questions using the GoToMeeting tool, and we will come to the questions later. I will try to leave more time to have it more like discussion like. Tom Sawyer Software exists for about 20 years and has been doing graph visualization, layout, and analysis. That's the area we work, and we think we are best in this area. We're an international company. We have our main office is in Berkeley, and we have another 4 offices abroad, which allow us to provide 24/7 customer support. And we work with hundreds of companies and provide very good support and continue to invest in the product. If you go to our website, you will see that we have a number of products, but for this webinar, I will focus just on the one product called Tom Sawyer Perspectives. This is our flagship product for the last several years. It incorporates the libraries, which we still continue to invest and provide, but Tom Sawyer Perspectives provides the libraries, visualization, layout, and analysis, and also tools for the rapid development and preview, data integration. So that's the product we actually recommend for all new customers, and existing customers we also try to upgrade to the Tom Sawyer Perspectives. Tom Sawyer Perspectives can be used as a standalone tool, but in majority of use cases, what we find that people actually embed it as part of their solution in their product, in their application, or when we talk about corporations or telecom carriers as part of the bigger solution. And the reason is while it has a designer and preview tools, it still has the APIs which are easily embeddable. And so usually Tom Sawyer Perspectives would be part of your product. In Perspectives, we provide a number of visual renderers. So you can decide if you prefer to use it as part of the desktop application, Java, .NET, Eclipse, SWT, or web application, traditional web application using Ajax technology, or using our latest and greatest HTML5 runtime. For the HTML5, I mean using the Canvas technology. So it requires new browsers, but it provides a much better experience. In terms of the data, we work with all kinds of the data, structured, semi-structured, unstructured, through some support, etc. While the product provides answer for different use cases, in telecom, we see mostly this technology used for service provisioning on top of the existing inventory and capacity systems, network design, then also the service assurance area, fault monitoring, performance, and optimization. And I will show several examples which you can see how we do these things. So we prepared a number of examples, and these examples highlight some specific area of the product. So we will run it as standalone mode in the preview version, but please imagine as it works as part of the bigger product. So we will start with with the probably with the cable schematics number 2 to show how we visualize outside plant based on the information coming from the network inventory. Then how we show like microwave network for the planning and construction, and then some things specific for the service assurance. So, and again, please do submit questions all the time, and we'll have time to answer most of these questions. And if we don't have time, we will answer them after the presentation. So let me go here. So this is the tool I'm going to use. This is Tom Sawyer Perspective Designer. This is the version we currently ship. We're going to ship a minor upgrade in a couple of days. Version 5, so the product is pretty good shape, mature, and works in multiple products. For this one, I already have it launched. So if you look at the screen, you will see that's a visualization of a remote POP, remote point of present. So let me do like this. So imagine some remote location and the cable which comes from the cable which comes from the west and continues to the east. So it comes like 64 wires coming from here, and then 2 MDF boxes, so one and second one here, and then it goes away. So if you look what goes inside here, we will see that it automatically lines up all the wires, all the ports, and then presents the ports inside each MDF and shows the internal wiring. And the diagram, of course, as in any Tom Sawyer diagram, is generated automatically using built-in layout engine. That's the area which we are traditionally very strong and continue to invest. So that's actually not the data actually comes from the real example. So you can see some interesting things like the horizontal wires which come from the factory, and then some wires which are cross links, like this, which have been rewired to continue along the ring probably to the different side and go on. And some of them are drop downs, so they terminated on this location to provide a networking service to a specific company, probably several companies. So we see like 8-port plug here, X16 port plug here, and another 16-port plug in this one. So we see that this one is almost fully populated. So it explains why the second one was added. And there is still enough space for the growth. So you probably been seeing these things around usually as something like printed on the paper and kind of inherited from technician to technician. So our idea is to make it the paper go away and have this diagram generated automatically on the iPad or laptop, or maybe even printed before you go to the location, and having the single source of truth, like people say, the network inventory. If some people want some more customization, it's easily done. For example, ability to have curved links. So something that it's not simple to do when you draw it on the paper, but very easy to do using our software. Or if somebody is nostalgic and still likes this look of the paper without too much colors, that's also easily to accomplish. So this is about this example. I will go to the next example. So this example is a little more complicated. So I'm launching it again in HTML5 preview. And jumping back to Dynamo, because it is possible to actually see the same project using desktop preview, image map, what we call Ajax, and HTML5. So the same code actually can be done can be decided at how you deploy it. So of course, like for the new projects, we recommend HTML5, and it will also provide a pretty good support for the mobile. We already support mobile running in native mode, but we are going to provide even better support probably in Q1 next year, including multi-touch events and um, ability to zoom using the fingers, etc. So currently we work with the toolbars, something like this, like ability to zoom on the part of the network, and you see, and the ability to move around using the overview window and see everything what's going on. And of course, the diagram has been generated automatically from the inventory data. Ability to select some of the element and then see its data coming here, the attributes, and see it selected in the table, and see the same element selected in the tree. So perspectives out of the box come with several views, like tree views, table views, topology view, map view, geographical map view. We support Google Maps out of the box, not in this example, so we support very good integration. And so the same object can be seen in different ways from different perspectives. That's the name of the product. Another ability is having the built-in layout engine. So in this example, the layout is done using orthogonal layout, which provides pretty good answer for the engineering style optimization diagrams. And for example, we have different layouts: circle layout, hierarchical layout, and symmetric layout. For different other layouts out of the box, of course. In this example, we visualize the base station and we visualize the links between the base station. So in this case, if you look at the connection between them, you will see that we have the nominal capacity multiplied by E1, so this from European customer, and the requirement. From that, we will calculate usage percentage by usage percentage and show that some of them are underused and some of them are heavily used. And then we can look at that. So in our case, we visualize, for this example, we selected to visualize the links using the bandwidth as a function for the width, and then the color utilization based on the utilization. So purple is not utilized at all, and red is fully utilized, saturated. So if I go and try to locate something like 100%, I will see these links. Not only I will see the links, I really don't need topology to see which links are saturated, but I will see where is it, what the neighbors are, how it can be rerouted if I need to do so. So this provides me very good idea to do. So, and of course, it's again automatically generated, so it keeps in sync with your data. We also provide the ability to have filters, built-in filters. For example, I would like to concentrate on the links which are with the higher capacity, and then it will hide most of those links and keep the base station so I know where I'm going. And then, for example, I would say, now let's see those which are requirement more than 12. And then it easily show me what happens here. And in this example, the links are the filter work on the links, but on nodes, etc. Ability to navigate using, for example, a type of the equipment. For example, if I'd like to go to Evolve kind of station over there, it will find it here. Ability to look up using the vendor. So, for example, if we let's go for like NSN and see some of the base station here. So where it's located, or like go to Ericsson and see like different base station based on this attribute. And again, like we can go again, like look at the table and then sort it by any attributes and see what's going on. And we can also do interactive search. For example, if I'm going to locate something, let's see, the base station with the number 8885, I'm clicking here, and I see it looks round, and I see the base station here in the middle of the screen, automatically brought in the middle of the screen. Another capabilities are, and of course, we can share with people. We can print it using multi-pages. If the diagram is too big, so we can say, like, let's print it like 2 by 2 pages, and then produce the print divided by number of pages. We can generate the picture and save it as an image. So in multiple formats like JPEG, PNG, PDF, SVG, the whole image, just the one which we can currently see, and so on. So it allows fully to explore the network, this part of the network. Another capability is using built-in analysis engine. Out of the box, we provide 35 different algorithms in different areas. So I'm showing the whole picture, and I stopped showing the connection. So 35 algorithms, clustering, path analysis, like find the shortest path, different paths, path exist, flow analysis, social network analysis, and so on. The whole documentation is there, and they're fully customizable. So in this example, we show how to add some algorithms, like for example, clustering, which should run, detect the clusters, and then highlights the devices based on the information. And then, for example, we can group using these clusters, and like cluster number, and divide the network by number of subgroups. And then, for example, go and just analyze a specific cluster. So one of the things we can do. And of course, we can group by any other attributes, by location, by region, by vendor, and so whenever it makes sense. So I'm going to take it back, clean the clusters, and highlight some analysis, like for the, for example, let's go and select some of the base station here. Like, let's use this one. Let's set it as a start node. You see that we can see that start node appeared here. Then let's go to the different part of the network and select, for example, this one as an end station, the finish node, and then run one of the algorithms. So, for example, in this example, we have a shortest path, disjoint path, or minimum cut. So, shortest path, and it found the shortest path and has shown us what's going on. So that's pretty simple. In this example, we use the weights of the links and number of hops, kind of a little more interesting function. So it will try to find the shortest path, but it will take into account the utilization of these links. So it will prefer less utilized links over the links which might be shorter, but still are more heavily utilized. So for different would be disjoint. So in this case, it will try to find different paths, and like primary path, secondary paths, where you need to reroute the traffic. So we have many more algorithms, but this should give you like basic idea. Very easily to use these algorithms, to run them, to see them, and to export the data into different formats. The provisioning system or just for the planning system. So I guess I will move to the next example, just to show ability to run the symmetric layout. So the same diagram. Now you see actually moves, and we have the same network, but laid out in different way. So some people would prefer to see it this way. Some people would prefer to see hierarchical. If they want to see how traffic goes in hierarchical matter, it will run hierarchical. So I'm clicking the button, and after several seconds, actually most of them is animation, not the layout. You can look at the algorithms and see them. By the way, notice how clean the layout works. All the labels are positioned perfectly, no overlaps. How the links come exactly to the nodes, and that's about Tom Sawyer. Like ability to have very clean diagrams, so you don't have the need to actually to take this label and move it away. So we do support this functionality. You can take label and move it away if you need for some reason, but the compositions them pretty nice already. And if you're not sure what this label belongs to, you just go over it and highlights the relevant link, or the other way around. Like for example, this one belongs to this one, and the tooltips, multi-line tooltips, for additional information. And when you click on the node or on the links, it will be selected. Okay, so I think I will move to the next one. Closing this one and going to the designer again. So the next example, we call it network editor because we allow to also to do some editing. In most cases for the service assurance, editing functionality would be disabled, and we would provide most visualization coming from the inventory or from repository. So again, I'm launching this in HTML5 mode. Just for the comparison, I will launch the same example using the image map. Without using advanced HTML5 abilities, using images generated by the server to show some differences. What we achieved in HTML5, what we were not be able to do in a pure Ajax application. For example, this is the pure object application, and if I go and look at the part of the network, it will jump here. So you see like no animation. If we do the same in HTML5 mode, because we render the image, render the whole drawing locally, it will be very nicely rendered here. And also the ability to actually come closer to some node. For example, you see differently, showing different representation of the device based on the zoom level at very remote. Like when we have, for example, hundreds or thousands of devices, we would use very simple rendering to make it clean and efficient. But when you come closer, you can see we add some visual stuff, transparent shadows and icons and more attributes, etc., etc. So that's also built-in capability of the product. In image map, we try to do the same, but we actually have to emulate these capabilities. So today, HTML5 would be like our best recommendation to start for the new project, including abilities to have editing capabilities. For example, if you want to add a router here, and then change some of the attributes, for example, say like I want it to be in West region, and then I would select the location of the router, etc. Or change the name, would set IP address. That's also possible. So ability to connect it to the existing network. So that works. And of course I can delete it if I needed some. So that's about editing capabilities. I'm not going into that because I want to concentrate actually on service assurance part. And for service assurance, we will overlay the data in this drawing based on the inventory data and the statuses coming from the fault management system, and then utilization data coming from the performance management system. And in this case, we chose different colors for that. Actually, in this example, we also provide the user the ability to select his own colors. For example, if you say like I would prefer like from purple to black, it will still work okay, and the data would be changed. So the whole drawing will be changed. So it's easy to provide different capabilities to the user. Ability to have filters, built-in filters, as in previous example. For example, like, let's hide the East region, and then let's run the layout. So it makes it very powerful to actually explore the data. For example, another nice thing is ability to blink the critical nodes or different nodes, so kind of to draw the attention. Ability to group nodes by the region. In this case, I would be able to start with something that like grouping by location, and then running the layout. So, or for example, some people would prefer to start with the cost view, and then go inside to see some subset of the nodes. In this case, like drill down, and then go to different nodes. Alternatively, you can open the existing nodes and then look around as well. Let's open this one as well. So multiple ways to look inside and see what's going on. Like, let's remove the grouping, go back and run the layout to the original view. Ability to filter, in this case, based on the device type. For example, we can easily like remove like workstation, web servers, phones, printers, laptops, and then we will be with only the core network in this case. So, and we will look at the core network. That's another capability. So I'm switching back, and you see like just clicking on the one button actually restores the drawing. So I can analyze the drawing from the different perspectives. And again, choosing some device inside the table, we'll find it in the topology, and we'll find it in the tree as well. So the switch. Ability to look at the links. For example, I will look at the links which are more heavily populated. For example, this link, and I will see that this link is actually more populated than I would prefer to do it. And I will try to understand what's going on. Or for example, on this link. So this link goes to the workstation, so it's not so bad. But this one is actually comes between two routers. So I definitely need to do something about that. Like maybe adding another link, or maybe changing some, rerouting some traffic. In terms of customization, some people ask about customization. In this example, we show one customization, but it's very actually easy to use different customization. For example, this diagram, based on the exactly same data, would use a very simple representation, just the icon and the status icon for the devices. And all the same functionalities exist, but representation is a little different. Another diagram, this one, actually uses the same data but provides a relationship between types. So it shows that in our case, all the phones should be connected directly to the routers, and all workstations should be connected to the switches, like FTP servers and printers. So that's another thing to do. So I think I've shown the basic capabilities. Let me see if we have some questions ready, and I will use questions maybe to show some more stuff.
Sure, Pavel. So
Okay, so
I
the
have.
question, this demo was run.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
go ahead.
please.
You could, if you want to read out the questions, that's fine. We have 2 questions in the queue.
No, please read them.
Okay, so Miguel asks, this demo was run locally. How heavy or slow is it when you are on the other side of the world? That's his first question.
So when you talk about web application, it has, of course, several parts like server and client. Currently, I'm running it locally on my machine, both the servers. So we use Tomcat, but any server can be used, like from WebLogic and WebSphere, JBoss. So we have customers who use probably all existing web servers. Our requirement just inside the standard. In terms of local part, it's HTML5 browser or simple web browser. We provide support for, we officially support 4 major browsers: Chrome, Internet Explorer, Safari, and Mozilla. If you run it from like different part of the world, depends on the browser. So if you talk about HTML5 browser, most of the rendering is done locally, but the data sits on the other part of the on the world. So it should work, but of course, like any web application, it would be easy if the server is closer. But we do have customers who provide the SaaS solutions. So so when people use the application like around the world.
Sounds good.
Next.
The other question is this also a network management system or can it be integrated to one?
That's an excellent question. So we don't provide full solution for the network management system. We provide the visual part and analysis part. And actually, many leading network management systems from well-known companies, including Cisco, HP, CA, Oracle, and NSN, actually use our technology inside. And so it's designed to be integrated into network management system. It's not a network management system as a standalone. It doesn't have any capability to listen to SNMP events or Telnet or Corba or whatever.
Okay. So this question is coming from Andrew. What new features are going to be added to HTML5 and are mobile devices, gesture selection, etc. going to have full support?
Yeah, that's actually our roadmap for mobile devices. HTML5 is a technology, Canvas technology is a major enabler. Ability to provide a very quick reaction and experience when you do local rendering using the hardware accelerated graphics instead of like sending the images all over the wireless network. And the next step is actually provide a native experience, gesture, multi-finger selection. That's on our roadmap.
Okay, very nice. So this is from Diluk. He is from CA. He says, you know, in a few cases, he sees that the edges are overlapping on the nodes. And he says he's also seeing the same behavior sometimes. And how can he restrict that?
So it is, of course, when I'm working with the drawing and I'm adding the nodes and hiding them or edges or whatever, like intermediately might be some situation like this. Also, in some layouts, depends on the, there is, for example, in symmetric layout, there are cases when nodes are coming very close or coming over the, like edges coming over the nodes. One way is to use different layouts. For example, in orthogonal layouts, this doesn't happen because we route everything. Another way is to use a special routing command. Or, for example, increase the spacing between the nodes. So we have a number of ways to do that. But generally, when you run layout, and like, the resulting picture is very clean. If you look here, you will see that everything is very clean and there is no overlaps. And also in terms of objects and the links and the nodes and labels. So hope I answered this question.
Yeah, excellent. So this question is coming from Craig. He says, "Hi Pavel, are there any plans to include better multi-monitor support for the product? For instance, having the ability to launch each pane into a separate modal window that you can position in separate monitors, yet get the full interactivity between panes?"
That's a good
Long
question. So
question.
currently we do, yeah. So we do support ability. So I should probably mention that this is not monolithic picture. Each one of these controls is actually like self-contained. So it is possible to have like table, just kind of table widget, tree widget, or topology widget. Like currently we use like tabs to show different widgets, but you can use them in multiple windows, model windows, or dialogues, depending on or even like on inside the iframe or div in web. So it's possible to have different places, including multi-monitor support. We do provide ability to have the single selection mechanism. So for example, when I select something in this window, it will select it both in the device table in this case, and also exactly the same item will be selected here. So you see like the same. So as long as they share the same model, they should work together. About modality, need to look into that because, but generally, if you talk about web application, that's a no-brainer. But if you are talking about separate sessions, of course, they would work independently, like in the web. But if it's a part of the same session, the built-in selection mechanism actually works pretty nice.
Okay. Can we add our own custom algorithms if we need to?
Of course. So we should probably like people who work with Tom Sawyer, they know that we are coming from a very long history of having on being like library. So in this case, I'm launching extensive everything is there. And you can customize onto the single pixel using like custom algorithms, custom prices, everything. So most of the things we provide ability to customize the designer. For example, a schema inside designer. You don't need to write any code, add like new objects or attributes. The application coming inside the designer, so which is translated into the APIs depending on the technology. So, for example, exactly same project can be run as a desktop application, and we know how to use the same rules to run it in desktop mode or HTML5 mode. But for everything can be plugged. For example, like you can plug a new templates. So we provide a bunch of templates out of the box, including sub-network templates, which we have shown. But you can plug your own templates. You can plug your own algorithms. You can plug your own custom widgets. That's very easy to do. And the API is here. So like everything is well documented, and the full API is here, like including JavaScript commands, API reference, HTML classes, etc.
Thank you, Pavel.
Next question.
Sure. So that is. Can we have Tom Sawyer visualizations run on the client side?
Okay, I think it probably coming from the customer who uses our technology, like old version of our technology.
So he says that currently we're using it on the server side and rendering the graph using MX Graph. By converting it, we cannot use applet.
Okay, that's a good question. And this is probably like somebody who inherited one of our old versions when the software was still Java only, so people would use applets to provide visual like part for the web application. For a number of years, we already provided a fully web version. So in Tom Sawyer Perspectives, actually, If you look at the tutorials, you will see that we can provide like this is basic example and the ability to run it as a desktop application, as WT, applet, and also two modes for the web application, like including pure web application. I think we don't have like applet customers who use applet left. Maybe just a couple of companies who use like legacy software. Most of our customers migrated to the web technology, and for years. So the answer is definitely yes. Just make sure that you get a new version. I'm pretty sure that all our customers who have valid maintenance, they're eligible for the web version. So you check you might be and kind of, I would say that you're probably eligible for the latest version with full web support as part of your maintenance without additional fee.
Oh, that's nice to know. Okay, so next question. How can I test this with my network's data? Do you provide any trial version? And would you be able to help us if we decide to go with the proof of concept?
Okay, excellent question. So I do believe that before you take the decision which visualization technology to use, you need to take it and run it inside your environment on your computers with your data. Have your engineers looking at the documentation, ability to customize, to etc. etc. So we do provide a free evaluation version, which is actually the full product version, limited only by the time. So you will get a number of development licenses, a number of end user, what we call deployment licenses, documentation, multiple tutorials, and which each tutorial is actually a self-contained product which we provide in full source code. So you can take it and run it locally using these tutorials, and which explain how to do some things. For example, if you want to have a tutorial and say, like, I have my data in database, and that's very easy to do, like out of the designer. So I think like you can do simple examples actually without actually going and writing a single line of code, just using our database integrator, selecting your database driver, like let's say Oracle, for example, writing string, supplying credential, and then configuring the bindings. We provide out-of-the-box integration for a number of data sources, including like Excel, XML, RDF database, and of course API, full API support. So we do invite to take our trial version, and we provide full technical support and help for free for 30 days. We will assign one of our solution engineers to work with you and help you with installation and proof of concept. We firmly believe that our product speaks for itself, and but we stand behind it.
Nice. Excuse me. Okay, this is the three-part question. How do we import inventory data into Perspectives from our database? What would you do? What would you use as your data repository, and how do we keep it in sync with ours after the initial import?
Okay. So the good thing about Tom Sawyer Perspectives that it actually doesn't have internal data repository. So we do come like when this provide the development toolkit, we do include the free Derby database, but it's only for the pilot or some tutorials. In all the cases, I know people actually use their own data repository, database, or directly using SQL queries, or actually more cases when people create some kind of layer between database and then send XML or use APIs. So there is no problem of data import, data migration, different formats, keep it in sync. You just put Tom Sawyer on top of the existing data. And that's one of the advantages over other solutions where you need first to think how you move the data, then you analyze the snapshot, then data changes. So with Tom Sawyer Perspectives, there is no such thing. And connection to the existing data is very, very simple. For the short pilot, I would actually say, dump part of your network into simple Excel file, work with that, and then you can, after you feel okay, let's go back and use like database or XML, and then just change the data integration part. It should be like no more than a couple of hours.
Excellent. Next question. Can you tell us about your customization capabilities? Is it a standalone application, or will I be able to embed it into our product?
So you can customize virtually everything. So so people would ask about, so just to give you the idea, and so these are some of our customers. So you probably seen these applications, seen our technology in many applications, but you didn't realize it was Tom Sawyer, because each one is heavily customized using the icons and the look and feel and colors and etc. etc. So everything is customizable, and most of it customizable pretty easily. For example, if you would like to say, I want to customize the toolbar buttons, and I will go and say like, okay, I don't like your image, I would like to have my icon. Just go there and use your icon, and select the icon or specify the URL for the icons. I don't like your icon for the devices. No problem. Select your device and do something like create your own template and use it as part of this one. I would like to have my colors, so we provide customization both on the inside the designer, if like it's built in, something built in. Like, so for example, let's take something simple. If I just to give the idea that we provide out of the box the customization capabilities, like colors, gradients, etc., etc. If you use something simple, or if you use your custom template, you decide what to do there. And here we provide everything like fonts and the colors and tooltip and etc. So everything is customizable, and that's we come with pretty reasonable defaults, but you can customize down to the single pixel. And if you cannot customize it through designer, you can always go and drop into API level, and then you customize it. You have the total control if you go through Java through Java API.
Great. That makes the job so much easier. That's good. So, kind of like a question that I could answer. A lot of people are asking when and where will this webinar recording be made available? So the recording is going to be made available within a week of today, and you will be sent an email with the recording. So look out for that email. Okay, another question for you, Pavel. Tell us about your implementation process, some timelines, etc.
Okay, so depends. Of course, this is a very broad question. Depends on what you're trying to do. In this regard, usually you would start with looking with kind of, if we are going to have some prototyping to show off. I would say, let's look at your data. Let's decide what subset of your data is we need for the visualization, and then quickly make some prototyping using the designer and the built-in templates. And then in like a couple of days, maybe like 2 weeks, you will have something you can show to your product manager, to your boss, and see and get some initial feedback. And then like the next stage would be like enrich, like custom actions. Let's connect to the real data. Let's customize the look and feel. Let's have some custom templates, etc. And this is incremental process. The good thing with Tom Sawyer Perspectives, you're talking weeks and months, like for the really like deep integration, not months and years. So you will be surprised how easy to do it.
Very nice. This question is from Neeraj. Shall I use generic application for deployment on HPUX Itanium platform? Is it officially supported by Tom Sawyer for production?
Um, so we do have generic Java application. Uh, uh, so we have installers, specific installers for Mac OS, OS X, and Linux, and Solaris, I guess. We don't have the official installer for HPUX. I guess one of those I mentioned can be used, the generic one. I know that some of our customers used to work with HPUX and AIX. Um, so in desktop mode, I guess I think the question is about desktop mode because like we are pure Java application, so I don't see any reason why it shouldn't run like on Java inside the web server or application server as HPX. And of course, in terms of the browsers, if you run Mozilla, for example, on HPX, it should work. But we don't have a specific official support for HPX. We test for the generic Solaris and the Linux and the OS X. That's my answer.
Okay. And I also want to remind all the attendees that, as part of this webinar, we are offering Pavel has been very generous to offer a 60-minute consultation if you are up for that. So, feel free to send me an email, and I'll give you my email address at the end of the webinar, as well as Pavel. So another question for you, Pavel. Can you show the data powering the network editor?
Yeah, yeah. So for most of our examples, we use pretty simple data, and most of them are running locally as a Excel file. So because it allows us to have no dependencies for the external data sources and run them as locally, but some of them use database. So for this specific example, we use data coming from two Excel files. So one of them represents inventory, kind of like imagine we sell a kind of select statement which will give you the uh, number of devices from inventory, including the name, IP address, type, location, and region, and another SQL statement which would bring the connection, the links from, to, and capacity. Another file actually represents the data coming from service assurance, meaning kind of snapshot from fault management, which would give the status of each object. So the inventory information tends to be more static, like changing maybe each day or maybe each like 6 or 4 hours, while status information is frequently changing each like 1 minute, 5 minutes. So that's usually people would have like two different data sources. So for the devices and then for the connections, like utilization load for the connections. And then inside the network editor example, we would use, in this case, we would use built-in Excel data source and map the data from the file into the in-memory model, which we keep in the memory. So I should mention that for the visualization, we load the data into the memory. And of course, we prefer to load only what we need to show. So that's pretty easy to actually to do so. And Perspectives has built-in tools, for example, like Preview, to actually go and before you even like started visualization, to make sure that you're mapping correctly from the file, from database into the memory. The same about connections. Yeah.
Okay, so we have
So in
time
this
for.
case, the load is 0 because we on.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, please. Yeah, that's okay. I guess like I answered the question like what we do, and you can imagine that for the database in XML, that's the amount of effort is actually the same. Like for the simple cases, like a devices table, it like in half an hour, you will have your data for the prototype like mapped into the perspectives.
Okay, so we have time for one last question. Do you provide support for NoSQL databases like MongoDB or Neo4j?
Mm-hmm. That's a good question. So currently, we provide built-in support for SQL using JDBC. So we provide anything which has a JDBC driver, we provide out of the box. For things like which don't have the standard JDBC driver, so we do provide RDF, like RDF integrator, but it's not so popular. But we do provide APIs and some blueprints how to connect to NoSQL databases. For example, with Objectivity Infinite Graph, who is our partner, we provide the example, or like bundled example. Neo4j graph database is also our partner. So we are going to include actually even better support using the designer, which would generate automatically the queries into Neo4j database. Today we provide guidance and blueprints for Neo4j using REST calls. We have customers who integrated with MongoDB using MongoDB Java driver. It was very straightforward. So using what we call a user data model, which provides hooks into our data model, memory data model. And we will help. If you need some help, we will happily help. So that's actually a small part of the prototype.
Mm-hmm. All right. With that, Pavel, I'd like to conclude this webinar. We've had some excellent questions, and I want to, again, remind the attendees that, part of the offer of this webinar is that, you can feel free to reach out to Pavel or to me, and I've put in our information in the chat window. Reach out to us, and, you could schedule a 60-minute free consultation with Pavel. So, with that, we've come to the end of the presentation. Feel free to keep asking your questions. I'm going to keep the window open for another 5 minutes or so. And a presentation, webinar recording will be made available to you within the next few days. On behalf of Tom Sawyer Software, I'd like to thank all of you who have taken your time out to, have to listen to this deep dive demo. Thank you so much, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you, and you have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pavel.